inner clash of civilization between the different ways of thinking, the different ways of life. The new generation which want to open up, want to democratize the country, the older who are insisting on the archaic and also old religious way of thinking, and there is an inner fight. And this revolution made this inner fight more clear, and this inner fight will occupy us for the next maybe 10 years, until we will see if a breakthrough will be possible, or that these countries will fall down into political lethargy and lose the potential, because it's also a question of economical development. How are these countries going to develop economically? How can Egypt survive with 85 million people, with 40% of the people under the line of poverty, with 40% of the people cannot read and write, with the situation of women in 40%, and the situation of women getting worse? So this will be the question, what's going to happen like this. To say that Islam and democracy can come together, this is not the right order for me. To begin a democracy, you cannot come up with religious thinking. Read history. A religion never brought up a democracy. Religion was always integrated within a democratic system from a weaker point of view, but not as the most dominant part of the society. And therefore I'm very skeptical about those announcements of the new Islamist leaders. They are trying to flirt with the West. They are trying to offer a good for business Islam, which is, sadly enough, is promoted by some experts here too, who are propagating this moderate Islam. Moderate Islam, there is nothing like that.
Okay, last question from me, then the audience will get the chance. What do you think? Don't you think it is a bad sign, for example, that the emergency law, as I understand it, is kept in place, so that people are still not allowed to gather, for example, in demonstrations? Is that not a bad sign? You just had something which is supposed to be a revolution, and it was conducted by ordinary people risking their lives that went to the square and demonstrated for 18 days. And still it's forbidden to have demonstrations today. Is that not a bad sign?
What do you mean? Am Mubarak or something? Why should I not think it's a bad sign?
You should agree with me that...
Obviously it's a bad sign. And there are many other bad signs in Egypt, with some of the politicians, the army, the Salafis, some of the Muslim brothers, even some of the so-called liberals are sometimes very disappointing to listen to. That's how